Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about 811, which is your cells and your organ systems. Basically, you should remember a lot of this from your basic biology class that you have. We're not getting into all the organs of the body. We're just going to get into some of the minor stuff that's in there, okay? So anatomy, the only thing you need to remember about anatomy is the structure, okay? So it's the study of the structure of the human body. Everything with anatomy you can basically be seen with the naked eye and everything that it's made out of, okay? Anytime they're talking about physiology, physiology is talking about the function of the human body and the cells and the organs. So anatomy is always the structure, the actual organs, and physiology is the actual physiological changes that happens in the function. Now cells are the basic unit, okay, of all living things, from bacteria to plants and animals, and including human beings. Just remember that. Cells are the basic units of all living things, from bacteria to plants and animals and human beings. If you don't have cells, life don't exist. A basic function of the cell unit is responsible for carrying all life processes, okay? Now, the cells of all living things are composed of a substance that's called protoplasm. Protoplasm is basically a colorless jelly-like substance, okay? So this is very important because this is basically the cell's food, okay? Now, inside the cell, and you'll see a lot of this if you go online in your Milady book. So in your Milady book, you'll see that the cell actually has a nucleus. It's a dense, active protoplasm found in the center of the cell, okay? Now you can visualize the nucleus as basically like looking at an egg. So if you crack open the egg, the yolk that's in the middle, that big yellow thing in the middle of the egg, is basically the nucleus. Now the cytoplasm is the protoplasm of the cell that surrounds the nucleus, okay? So it is the watery fluid that cells need to grow and self-repair. So if you're looking at your egg, okay, so you're going to have the nucleus, which is the yolk, and then all the white runny stuff is going to be called cytoplasm, okay? Then what you have is called a cell membrane. This acts like a balloon that contains the protoplasm of the cell and allows certain types of substances to pass through its walls. It encloses all living plants and animal cells. So if we're going to take this and break it down, do you know whenever you try to peel an egg, but there's like this thin layer that's there and it gets stuck and it won't come off and stuff like this, and sometimes it takes some of the yolk or the egg white with it. But sometimes you can peel it and it has that thin layer that's clear, like almost like a saran wrap, cellophane type substance, okay? So you can consider that like the cell membrane. So you have the nucleus, which is the yolk, the cytoplasm, which is the white, egg white, and then you have that little thin layer around there called a cell membrane. Okay, now let's move to cell metabolism. Metabolism, we all know metabolism. You have slow metabolism, like me, I have a non-existent metabolism hardly, or you have a fast. Now, a metabolism is a chemical process in which it takes the place in a living organism, okay? The cells are nourished and carry out their activities in two different phases. You have anabolism and catabolism. This is part of metabolism. Anabolism is constructive metabolism, okay? That means that it builds up larger molecules from smaller ones, okay? So anabolism is basically the building up of larger molecules from smaller ones. And then you have catabolism. Catabolism is the phase of metabolism that involves the breaking down, okay? And so of complex cells into smaller ones. So just remember, metabolism, you have two phases, anabolism, catabolism. A being the first, ABC, you know, so A is you're gonna build it up, but then ABC, catabolism means no good anymore, take it down. So it's the tearing down, okay? If you remember that, the building up and the tear down, you'll get these correct on your test, okay? Now tissue, we all know tissue. Tissue is just a collection of smaller cells that perform a particular functions. Now there are 5 types of tissue. There's epithelial. It's a protective layer that covers body surfaces, just like your skin has an epithelial layer. Then you have nerve tissue. Nerve tissue carries messages to and from the brain and controls all bodily functions. Examples of nerve tissue can be found including the brain and the spinal cord. Okay. Then we have organs and body systems. Now the organs are groups of tissue that are designed to perform a special function, just like when we're talking about physiology. Physiology is in anatomy are the organs, physiologies are the functions that it does. So examples of this: the brain, the eyes, the kidneys, the liver, the stomach, the lungs, stomach and intestines are the most important organ of the body. So they're some of the most important organ of the body, and just remember that your largest organ is actually the skin. Okay, and then you have an organ that is just pure muscle, which is the heart. Okay, now body systems are groups of bodily organs that action and perform together. Examples of this is circulatory system, your digestive system, and then your respiratory system. So respiratory, of course, works hand in hand with your circulatory system. The circulatory system depends on the respiratory system to bring in the oxygen. Then the circulatory system delivers all the blood and oxygen to the body. And with this helps keep your digestive system running and functioning properly. So guys, if you read over this and just read over a couple of times in your info sheet, as well as listen to the lecture and some of the helpful hints that I gave you to remember this stuff, you do fine on your test, okay? So guys, you guys have a great day, and don't forget to do your theory and vocab. All right, guys, see you later.